Marco Golem is here from ThiNet. Marco, I think you've been to all of these, all the CIDCs in the first Denver conference,
yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. And so we've got some, he's got some stuff to show us and some new product as well, I think, right? So please welcome Marco.
Okay, hello everyone. Just a few highlights with ThiNet and GUI Manager and Resizer before we dig into the new product. You will get a 6-month demo of the product that fully functional that you can test after I show you a link. What's new with ThiNet? Well, ThiNet is pretty much stable on what it does. There are some improvements, though, that I'm just going to go through fast. I'm going to parallelly show the GUI Manager template as well. So this is the product. What it does, it creates the toolbars of your app, and it gives you the full screen MDI interface. It looks like this. So you get the MDI tab here. Oh. You get the maximize and the close button, and the entire code for creating the toolbars is in the open source section of the Lib Series C Clarion folder, so you can change entire behavior. So you get full screen windows with the additional toolbar. Why is this? Because the standard MDI interface has some lackings that we are avoiding with this template. The full screen, the resizing is done with the resizing portion of the template. I will show that what's new with it as well. So let me show what's new with Java. Java has 2 new skins. When you open Java client, in visual section, there are 2 more skins on the bottom, Red and Petrol Synthetica. That's something that's new. The scrolling, because Java is multi-threaded by definition, everything, even with the UI, is multi-threaded. So we can use that, for example, scrolling. So that gives us the ability to have a full dynamic scrolling with the ThiNet. This is. Great. Let me show that. For example, if I'm dragging the box here, this is the internet app. Okay. So what we can do is have a pretty much desktop scrolling experience within it. In the normal client, that's not so easy downloadable because Clarion can't multi-thread the UI components so well as Java. Because when I'm holding the mouse, I can scroll pretty much as I'm on the desktop app. That's a pretty big improvement over the last versions. It's quite fast. The second improvement is mostly for tablets, because we had lots of success with the Linux tablets. For a business app, Linux tablet is great. You will have almost 20-hour battery life on it, and you can run Java on it. So that's pretty much, and it's very inexpensive. So if you're trying to run a business on a tablets, Linux tablets might be the way to go. The scrolling you can do with the finger. If you drag your finger on the top of the browse, it will scroll now with Java. That's the improvement. If you move it further, it will page down. If you just move a bit, it will scroll. That's basically for tablets when you want to scroll around. Second way is to scroll with the thumb on the side, and that's improved as well. That's basically the new stuff with Java. The GUI Manager and Resizer has a resizing portion to be able to shrink the screens. That's important for tablets too, because when you design a screen, it's basically revolving around some resolution. Then on a desktop, usually what you do is expand the screen to full screen. That we see here. But on a tablet, when you increase a font, all your screens won't fit the screen. So to avoid additional scrolling, you need to shrink those screens. So the Resizer got the shrinking algorithm inside as well. And that I will be presenting on a few examples, how intelligent it is. For example, here on this screen, I will show some shrinking. Let me show you this screen particularly. For the Resizer, it's automatic. You just add an extension, and it works. But you can tweak it. You can change the behavior on a specific part. How do you change it? You go on your window definition, go to actions. On a specific control, you want to change the behavior of resizing. You go to GUI Manager Control Resize Options, and you have lots of options here. For example, for this control that is image, I click that I want it to be resized, because image by definition, by default, are not resized. You need to click that they resize. And I say keep aspect ratio. This means that resizer will keep the ratio between horizontal and vertical size. That's important for images, so you don't get distorted. For example, if I increase the size of the window, the image will be bigger because there is more vertical space. If I reduce the size of the window, the image will be slower. What happened here? We got a scroll bar. Why? It's because this text here on the top of the screen couldn't be shrinked more because it wouldn't be visible. So the algorithm shrinked as much as it could, and then when it couldn't shrink more, he blocked all our other components of shrinking. That's why we don't want to have a screen distortion. We don't want other components to shrink more than the others. So we got a scroll bar. So when the shrinking cannot be done beyond some point, because of the obvious reasons, you'll get a scroll bar. Okay, some more examples of the shrinking algorithm. I have it in the other app. I think I have here maybe this screen. This one can be shrinked. Okay, I didn't click on it. Okay, let me open the other app. This here is very nasty app. Usually what I do is I create a demo app for the algorithm, and then when I get feedback from the users with the windows that doesn't work well, then I import window definition inside and test and fix the resizing problems. So we'll get to see those windows that are very complex and usually don't work. Okay, let me show you, for example, this window. This is ugly window, but the general idea of the resizer to see how the automatic algorithm can recognize what's happening on the screen. We have 4 blocks of controls. For example, this box here and here, obviously the resizing part of the window. We have a sheet here with the image and the list box. We have another sheet that is hidden down there with the text box, list box, button, and a string. So what's happening? I'm just going to reduce the screen a bit. So what's happening is that this list box did not reduce beyond some point. Why? Because this button and these strings will block the resizing because they cannot resize. So the resizing portion, this block and this block will resize minimally. Mostly the resizing will be done on those 2 list boxes. Notice this line. This is interesting window because of this line, because in the middle of the screen we have a line with the entry, button, text, string, and a button that is right anchored to the list on the side. So what's happening is resizer is smart enough that when you're shrinking, he will use the extra space here. He will not shrink this line until this button touches the string. He recognizes that automatically. So when I'm doing the shrinking, he will wait that the button touches. When it touches the string, it will resize the left side entry control as well. And he will do that to the point when the control can't be resized. That's the minimal resizer point. That can be changed, of course. And at that point, he will add a scroll bar. Quite simple. Vertically, there are no boundaries, nothing except if you decrease size by a lot. Then you'll get a vertical scroll because all controls will be on their minimum. So with this algorithm, we can port the apps to the tablet, and it will reduce the screen size, if possible. If not, they will add a scrolling mechanism. Same window, but we removed the box on the side. Why? To achieve diagonal intersection. So we have here horizontal and vertical intersection of controls. Here, this control and this control can diagonally intersect. For example, if I reduce this screen, you'll see that the left side of the screen goes up. The other side doesn't move because it doesn't have to. So he will not.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we're just.
Really?
Yeah.
Then I need to tweak the zoom factor and everything. Because the zoom factor is on 200%, so I'll need to change everything.
All right, everybody's okay with that? Yeah.
You'll have to snipe it
Okay.
somehow.
All right. As you were.
Yes, you will. Okay, no problem. So the left portion of the screen he recognized and he resized it. This is a graphical distortion with Clarion, nothing to do with the resizing algorithm. Nothing can be done about that. So the left portion of the screen resizes while the right doesn't, because there is extra space between the boundary, the window, and the control. So if I increase the size of the screen, the left side should intersect with the right side. But the algorithm will recognize that, and it will pull the control up so they don't intersect. If I reduce the size, he will recognize that as well, and he will not intersect them. This is just examples to see how algorithm is smart enough to automatically resize your screens. This is the idea. This is one of the examples that's very complex, and it's intentionally here. This is a window with 500 components. It's a multi-tab window. Every tab has multiple components. This is just to get the idea what the resizer can do automatically. So nothing is clicked on the screen. So when I reduce it, you'll see a 1.5-second delay. And it will resize the screen. You'll get a scroll bar here. It's intentional because of this tab. Notice the line here. You'll see buttons, string, button, button. So only the string could get resized. Button, by definition, do not resize. You can change it. But for the design to be as it was originally, buttons should be moved in size. So he resized the string as it could. Then when he couldn't resize more, he blocked the resizing of entire sheet. And all other tabs accommodate to that. So they resize to that point. Vertically, there were no blocks, so the resizing could not be done in full. There is no scroll bar. So this window could fit on a tablet now. That's the general idea. One more example, the left side component window and the button on the middle. It will resize the entry only when it touches the button. So entry is not resized, but when it touches the button, it will start resizing. That's the general idea. You may look up the list boxes. The columns in the list box are automatically resized as well as I'm resizing the screen. So it tries to keep the form of the window the same as in original. That's the general idea. So those were the fast examples. Let's now dig to the new product. That's new with the resizer. So the ThiNet, it got improvement with Java, especially on scrolling, and the resizer got the shrinking algorithm now. And now the new product, basically, it's a version control system for Clarion. It's oriented for APP and dictionary. That's how we do it in our company. All our business, Mike saying hello. So all we do in our business, we're using APP dictionary, mostly template code. So we are focusing on business logic in Clarion. Everything else is done aside of Clarion in template language. So what we need is a straightforward version control system for APP and dictionary. That is what it does. It might get improvements, according to user feedback in the future, to get additional formats supported, but at this moment it's focused on those two formats. Let me open it. Let me try to simulate the start of the program. So you see how it's easy to set it up. Let me just go here. Copy everything to another folder and start it. Okay, I'll delete the database, so it's a clear start. So what I have first is my app. It's Invoice Simple app. It's here. Okay, now I'm going to start the software. At the first start, he will start to insert workstation. He needs to set it up. So we have a name. We have working directory. This is directory where our apps are stored, the root directory of the apps. Okay, I'll say that folder, language, version, nothing for now. Clarion path, nothing for now. We can add them here, but usually it will ask us for the folder later when it requires Clarion to do the work. Okay, we have a backup path, and we have a server path. Server path is a server for the installation. It can be local folder or a network folder. If you're going to share, if you're going to do a version control around your teammates, you're going to use a network folder, obviously. If you're just a solo developer, you're going to use your local folder. Backup folder is the folder where the app will do all the backups. Okay, accept. Okay, this is the software. It has a resizer inside. You see the window before, so I can full screen it. So it's empty now. There is nothing on the screen. So I'll add the app we just saw before. So what it needs the name. The name is the same as the folder name. So you do put the folder name here. This is not a private project. Private project means that only your user can see that project, or versions of subversions of such project. We'll put that it's not a private project, and we'll put that this is a Clarion 10 project. Okay, we have project here. This is a tree-level browse. So that means we can create subversions and branch the project out here. This is a Hive tab here, defaultly open. We see all the backups here of all the versions. If I double-click this selection, I'll get the specific application look. This is server side. This is client side. So I see on the client side, I see my app. On the server side, it's empty. I didn't commit it any time. So with the tree icons here, I can actually look into the app itself or into the dictionary. If I click it, what it will do, it will export the file using Clarion. Using Clarion folder, it will export the file, and we'll see all the procedures inside from the tool itself. If I right-click any of the procedures and say compare, I can see the code of the procedure itself. So all from the tool. One note here is the tool used to compare. It's a diff merge tool. You can use any other tool, but if you're going to use provided, you need to buy a license separate. It's not expensive. So the tool is used to compare the code of the procedure itself. Here, yeah, we see the procedure. Okay, I'm just going to commit the code. Let me see what's my server folder. I'm going to delete my... Yeah, I'm just going to delete the server. Is it there? So let me just see. Please, TeamApp, apes. Oh, it's empty. Good. I'm just going to commit now. Oops. Oops, oops. Ooh, translate. The capes of translate. Let me try to fix that. Okay, he created the folder. Still a demo version, okay? Okay, he did it this time. I need to fix a few bugs. Mostly done because I added the capes of translate option to have multi-language. And then because it's a multi-threaded app, I need to put proper locks on the threads for translation, because it uses a single function from capes of to translate, but it needs to use it in a multi-thread. So the crashings are possible there and then. I'll fix those. Okay, it works. It just restarted. Okay, now what we have is a server-side app and a client-side app. We managed to commit the app. Automatically, when we did that, we get here the version. So in the archive folder, we have all the commits. They are here. With the view button, we can see what's changed. Here, nothing is changed because it's a full commit. Ah, here it is. Everything is changed. Okay? You have a search button here. For example, I want to search all my previous version and see all the changes done, for example, on the window called update company, for example. And I get all those versions. So that's a quick search through your versions to see who changed specific procedure. Quite useful. I have all the backups here. What I can do now, for example, let's change something in Invoice app. We can change it actually here with the right-clicking, but I won't. I'll open Clarion and change it. Okay, I'll change browse orders, for example. So you can get look and feel how that works. Browse orders, this procedure. This is a small inconvenience with Clarion 10. Every time I enter the procedure and click cancel, it will still get date modify. And that's actually how the system recognizes that the procedure is changed. This is unfortunate because all the procedures that you check will say modified. They don't. That's nice. I didn't save the file. I didn't save the file. I need to save the file. That's logic. Okay. I'm just going to change something here. Okay, I'll move this control maybe a bit back. Okay, I'm just going to save that. Okay, and I'm going to click refresh. Oof, not compile. Refresh. It can compile as well from here. Okay, I have all the procedure that's the check. When you do the click check, but if you click compare, you'll see nothing change inside. For example, on this procedure. Again, the translate thing. Okay, I'll fix that later, whatever, just restart now. Okay, let's try browse order. Okay, see here date is changed, that's okay. Give us the next change. I think we changed the window definition here. Yeah, you can see the changes. Yeah, they're here. The ordinal, that's the template change, doesn't matter, but this change is important. We change the coordinate of the window. We can merge the changes here back and forth, isn't it? Okay, we're just going to commit the version. Yeah, I'm crashing again, then I'm clicking again. That's okay. Commit. So every first action is crash. Okay. I'll fix that later, so we'll have a fully functional version. Okay, he exports the version, and he commits it to the server. And I'm going to now show the few features. First, here, now refresh it. I get my commit. This icon means this is a full commit. This means this is a partial commit. If I restore this version, I can restore a version easily by dragging the version here. It says, do you want to restore project in a new branch? Not over this project. I want a new branch. It creates a branch here. So I get a fully functional version here. Look at it on the server side. What I can do is drag that version over server side of my normal client server folder. And then I compare that version with us. It's the same, so no differences. I'll delete this branch, and I'll delete the folder behind, and I'll restore a full commit here in a new branch. Then I'm going to open normal invoice, client folder, and I'm going to drag my previous version here, and I'll see the differences. So what I can do is, at any point in time, I can compare my version of the software with any of the previous versions and see exactly what's changed inside by clicking this and clicking compare on the procedures that are different and see all those differences in the code. So when someone makes any change, you can always restore a project in your subversion tree, then compare it and see all the differences that that person did on your code. And every time you commit something, it's backup in your here button. So I can see all the differences here. What I can do here, additionally, I can say insert lower level. That means I will sub-branch the project. I will create a branch. It will automatically get a parent project and a project name that is subverted with the additional B1, branch 1. I say it's private project. I say accept. And it has, do you want to copy current version? I say yes. That means I get a new branch here below the invoice with a copy of invoice. What I can do now is privately work on the project. I can deliver the project locally with the merge button and work on it for 3 months. And then commit that version to the original version. Why is this necessary? Sometimes we need a clean project. And we need to work for a prolonged period of time with it, and we don't want interruptions of other teammates on that project. That's why we need subversion here. And anytime I want, I can then commit this version to the original version. And I can always compare. For example, if I click merge here, I'll take the version from the server. So version is on my client now. If I go to the client folder, here, you'll see the subfolder here and the entire version inside. We delivered. We changed now this version. And I can always compare it with the official version by just dragging it here. And then I have compared the server invoice folder and the client branched folder. I can always compare and share those changes. For example, in our company, we have a software that we need to customize for specific users. So what I need to do is create sub-branches of that project that will never be merged with the original project. They will always exist parallel. And then all the changes I've done in the original version, I share with this tool with my subverted versions. That's the idea with the subvert. So all these changes you can easily share then. You don't have to make them all over again in specific customized app. That's the idea. Or the subversion system you can use to create a branch, develop, and then merge it with the original parent. So the branch disappears. I think I covered most of the options. The restore. So the backup folder here compresses all the changes. And it compresses only the changed files. So when I restore this, for example, this instance, it will find first full backup and then restore all the small backups after they came after the full backup. So it's optimized. So the backup folder is small. It will keep only the changes. That's the idea. You can have multiple tabs open, multiple application views here, and you can compare any of them to any of them. That's the general idea. There is a compare period button. For example, you want to compare only the changes done in 2 days. So you don't have to see all the changes. You say, give me the changes done in less 2 days, and it will filter entire UI. So pretty simple tool with lots of features inside, with drag and drop options, with only one button. That's the thing, simplicity. You can always go in settings and change the settings at any point. Yeah, this is the translation part that is giving us a problem, because usually software is in Croatian, so I needed to translate it in English for you to see. One more thing here. This screen is interesting for resizer. When I resize, we used to the disk control resize when it touches the button. But something happens here that it will block the resizing just slowly before that happens. Why? I thought I had a bug. And then I realized that it's not a bug. The software is smarter than a man. And he realized that on the second tab, this control resized to minimum, and it blocked the window resize. So this, this window is specific, and it confused me. And I thought, why this control didn't touch with this control? And then I realized that he knows that this tab is a problem. So he blocked the first tab according to the second tab, and he gave me the scroll bar here. So resizer works, isn't it? So basically, that's it. Any questions?
Anybody? Yep, Charlie?
Do you have this product up on your website yet or not?
I'll give you the link to download demo version, 6 months, fully functional, free. I'll need to fix that thing as well. I'll give you the link now, and then I'll update the link later. And later on, the product will be purchasable. You'll get a 25% discount code for all our products now. And they will work for 6 months. So let me just show you first the link, the code. This is the code. Everyone watching the video see it. So you can just write it. I think it's pretty much visible. Let me just increase the font. This is the code that you will use for all products, for the TNet, for the resizer, and for the TeamApp, for the version control. This is the code. And the link, it's fully functional. If you don't mind crashing on every first action, I'll fix that as well. Okay, TeamApp, the code, the TeamApp. Okay, this is the link. Quite simple. TeamApp zip. Quite simple. So you just put it in a folder. That's it. And quite simple. Let me go back to the code. That's it. I think Arnold or someone will put it on maybe on the website or something. Any more questions?
All right. Anyone? Question? Rick?
Rick.
Hey, Marco. I was wondering on the, multiple developers committing changes. I didn't really see anything on that and what algorithm you're using for like merging those changes.
First, locking mechanism. You can always lock a project manually. When you're committing, it will lock automatically. If I accidentally lock here, your project will get a lock. If I unlock it, okay. When you're committing, it's automatically locked. Until the commit is done, the process of merging, nobody can access the project. The algorithm is mine. What I do is I compare the changes and merge them. If the changes are on same procedure, the procedure will stop and give you exclamation mark on that procedure. And then what you need to do is come here, right-click it, compare it, and merge it manually. So changes on the procedure are specially instructed to change manually. So you change those, click close, yes, save, and then commit your version. So it will interrupt if somebody changed the procedure at the same time, and you will, through this interface, right-click, compare, you will take those changes from the server to your version, click save, and then commit. That's the idea how it's done.
Okay, and I think you said you can use your own compare utility. You can plug in beyond compare or
yes,
something
you
if you
can
want,
use your own utility. You just put it in a diff merge folder and rename it. Maybe I'll add the parameter to change the exe name so you don't have to rename it. But you can use the other utility, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, Marco.